भगवते वासुदेव ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय अर्जुन उवाच संन्यासं कर्मणां कृष्ण पुण्यं योगं च संससि यच्छ्रेयो एकं तन्मे ब्रूहि सुनिश्चितम्.
Arjuna says, "O Krishna, first of all you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?"
Text 2. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Niyashreyaskaro Vo Tayosu Karma Sannyasa Karma Yoga Vishishyate.
The personality of Godhead replied, "The renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation, but of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work."
Text 3. Gneya sa nitya sannyasi yo no dvesati na kanksati nidandvo hi mahabhavo sukham bandhat pramuchyate.
One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty Aunt Arjuna.
Text 4. Sankhya yoga prathak bala pravadanti na panditaha ekamapi astita samyog avyavindate phalam.
Only the ignorant speak of devotional service, karma yoga, as being different from the analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both.
Text 5. Yes sankhye prapyate sthanam tad yoge api gamyate ekam sankhyam cha yogam cha ya pashyati sa pashyati.
One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are.
Text 6. Sannyasasthu mahabhavo dukham aptum ayogatah yogo yukta muni brahma na chirandi gacchati.
Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay.
Text 7. Yoga yukta vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriya sarva bhutatma bhutatma kuran api na lipyate.
One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled.
Text 8 and 9. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukta manyate tattvavit Pashyan Sravan Sparshan Jigran Pasnan Gachan Sapan Swasan Parapan Visarjan Pranan Animishan Nimishan Api Indriya Tesu Vartanta Iti Dharyan.
A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all, because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them.
Text 10. Brahmani Adya Karmani Sangam Tyakta Karoti Yah Lipyate no sa papena Padma Patram Yambasa.
One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water.
Text 11. Kayena manasa buddhya kevale indriya api yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma suddhaye.
The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with the body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification.
Text 12. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naistikam ayukta kama karena phale sattva nibhadyate.
The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled.
Text 13. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham vasi naudvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karyan.
When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done.
Text 14. Na kutra tvam na karmani lokasya shuji prabhuva na karma phala samyogam sabhavastu pravartate.
The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature.
Text 15. Nadate kashyati papam no chaiva sukritim vibhuha aujnani na vurtam nanam tena moyanti jantavaha.
Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge.
Text 16. Gnanena tu tad agnanam yesham nasitam atmanah tesam adityavat gnanam prakashayati tat param.
When, however, one is enlightened with knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
Text 17. Tad buddhyas tat atmanas tat nisthasta parayanaha gachanti apnur avrutin gnana nidhuta kalmasaha.
When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation.
Text 18. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini sunichaiva sapakecha pandita samdarshinaha.
The humble sages, by virtue of their true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and a gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater outcast.
Text 19. Yeva te jita sargo yesham samya sitam manaha nidosam hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te stitaha.
Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman.
Text 20. Na prashyate priyam prapya no dvijate prapya cha priyam stira buddhi asamudho brahma vidha brahmani stitaha.
A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence.
Text 21. Paya sparseva asattatma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham aksham asnute.
Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme.
Text 22. Yai samparshasya bhoga dukha yonaya evate adi antavanta konteya na tesu ramate buddha.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Text 23. Saknoti haiva yasodham paka sharira vimuksanat kama krodha bhavam vegam sa yukta sa sukhi naraha.
Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world.
Text 24. Yanta sukhanta aramas tathanta jyoti eva yah sa yogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuta dikkachati.
One whose happiness is within, one who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately he attains the Supreme.
Text 25. Labante brahma nirvanam rushaya shina kalmasaha china dvidha yatatmanaha sarva bhuta hite rataha.
Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme.
Text 26. If you could. Yeah. Kama krodha vimuktanam atinam yata chetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam.
Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future.
Text 27 and 28. What's going up, Prabhuji? I can't see 27. Yeah, no. Sparshan krutva bhayi bhayam chakshu chaivantare bhruvoh pana pano samo krutva nasa bhayanta charino yatendriya mano buddhi muni moksha prayanaha vigatecha vaya krodho yasada mukta eva saha.
Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated.
Text 29. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram sudam sarva bhutanam natva mam shantim ruchyati.
A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Karma Yoga or action in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Thanks for that wonderful recitation. So today, sorry, I by mistake, I put text 26, which was covered yesterday. We'll be covering text 27 and 28 today. So text 27 and 28. Sparshan kritva bahayamas chakshu chavantare bhruvo pranapano samo kritva nasha bhayantara charino yatendriya mano buddhir munir moksha parayana vigatte cha bhaya krodho yasada mukta evasa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and the intelligence, the transcendentalist aiming at liberation becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Purport. Being engaged in Krishna consciousness, one can immediately understand one's spiritual identity, and then one can understand the Supreme Lord by the means of devotional service. When one is well situated in devotional service, one comes to the transcendental position qualified to feel the presence of the Lord in the sphere of one's activity. This particular position is called liberation in the Supreme. After explaining the above principles of liberation in the Supreme, the Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as to how one can come to the position by practice of the mysticism or yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into an eightfold procedure called Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. In the 6th chapter, the subject of yoga is explicitly detailed, and at the end of the 5th chapter, it is also preliminarily explained. One has to drive out the sense objects such as sound, touch, form, taste, and smell by pratyahara process in yoga, and then keep the vision of the eyes between the two eyebrows and concentrate on the tip of the nose with half-closed lids. There is no benefit in closing the eyes altogether because then there is every chance of falling asleep. Nor is there a benefit in opening the eyes completely because then there is a hazard of being attracted by sense objects. The breathing movement is restrained within the nostrils by neutralizing the up moving and the down moving air within the body. By practice of such yoga, one is able to gain control over the senses, refrain from the outward sense objects, and thus prepare oneself for liberation in the Supreme. This yoga process helps one become free from all kinds of fear and anger and thus feel the presence of the Supersoul in the transcendental situation. In other words, Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of executing yoga principles. This will be thoroughly explained in the next chapter. A Krishna conscious person, however, being always engaged in devotional service, does not risk losing his senses to some other engagement. This is a better way of controlling the senses than by Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, so this is a very beautiful section of the 5th chapter. We are now coming towards the climax of this chapter. So we seek the blessings of our Guruvar, our entire Guru Parampara, before we are able to speak on this subject matter. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanu Devi Daite Kripa Bade Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daite Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjwala Premadhya Shri Rupa Bhaktaya Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaya Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudha Pashita Danta Dantvatharine Namo Gaur Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Shambhoda Padam Bhujete Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachinandana Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Viraya वरायते गौर किशोर भाव भूमे स्वम निर्देश सज्जना प्रिया वैष्णवा सर्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथ ते नमः वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः पंचतत्वं कृष्णं भक्तरूपा स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुण सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is the theme of these verses. Before we get on to the text 27 and 28, let's recap a little bit from the text 26. The theme of the text 26 was to fix meditation on Super Soul. One soon attains the liberation by fixing our meditation on the Super Soul, which is Paramatma. One is then assured of liberation by how? By being free from the anger and all the material desires, and by being self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection. So if you remember, these were some important points were discussed yesterday by Nikhil Prabhu, that Krishna conscious person is best of all the salvation. Is why? Because through the effective control of the senses, he's able to then focus his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, which uproots all the deep grown desires of fruitive acts. How does it uproots? Because our heart or our hidaya is supposed to be the sum and bonum of all the various desires we may cultivate throughout various life, be it material or spiritual. But by focusing on meditating our mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we get shuddhi of the heart, or our heart gets cleansed, so we are able to then meditate on the Lord. And their beautiful analogy was given about the tortoise, fish, and bird, that how the tortoise brings up its offspring simply by meditation, and the eggs of the tortoise are then laid on the land. And then another analogy was given, that how the fish brings its offspring simply by looking at them, and then the birds maintain their offspring by touching them. Similarly, the devotee in Krishna consciousness, although far away from the Lord's abode, can elevate himself to that abode simply by thinking of him. How amazingly Prabhupada, is able to give us through this various acharyas these amazing analogies to make our understanding even deeper and wider in the process of actually understanding how to concentrate our mind and to overcome the material desires through the process of meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, primarily speaking in this particular case through the process of meditating on the Super Soul, the Paramatma. So similarly, it is explained, Prabhupada is saying that the devotee in Krishna consciousness, although he's far from the Lord, but he's also very close to the Lord. This principle is also explained in the Ishopanishad, that how the Lord is situated so far, but yet he's accessible through the process of devotional service actually. And simply by thinking of him constantly, we can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Can somebody give me a verse of the Bhagavad Gita which gives this proof that by thinking of the Lord constantly, we can become Krishna conscious?
Manmana bhava mad bhakta mad piyaji mam namishkuru mami bashishata tante prati jane priyashi.
Yes, you may. Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of them verses, that how by offering our homage to the Lord, by thinking of him, by offering our obeisances to him, and all the time meditating on him, we can actually reach him. So that is definitely one way. There is another verse which talks about that how we can elevate to the abode simply by thinking of the Lord. So one is to, of course, think man mana bhava mad bhakto. That is the best verse to think of. But how do we constantly think of the Lord? What do we do? What are the devotees do in order to be thinking of the Lord? There is another verse in Bhagavad Gita.
Of course, engage in the devotional service. That's the best process.
Yes.
Can't remember.
So what is that process? Satatam kirtayanto mams.
Yes.
What is the second line? Satatam kirtayanto mams.
It is the Dravida.
Sorry, Mataji.
Satatam
Satatam kirtayanto mam yata nantascha trita vrita.
Satyam.
I'm forgetting the verse now. It's such a nice verse. It's not coming to my mind. Satata. Anyway, the point is that the devotees are always doing satatam kirtayanto mami. We're glorifying the Lord constantly, actually. That's how we engage our mind in Krishna consciousness. So these were some of the points. And finally, the last point, which was in the last purport of Prabhupada shared, is that Brahma Nirvana, the stage of absence of material miseries, is due to being constantly immersed in the Supreme. Being in the trance, you can even experience the trance when you're at the level of experiencing the super soul. So this was the conclusion of the last verse. And Baladev Vidyabhushan gives us a very beautiful analogy. He reminds us actually that the analogies given in this particular verse are indicated of those who endeavor seriously, as described in the verses. Perfection is readily available because the super soul is concerned about those who act in this fashion. So Baladev Vidyabhushan is saying that when one is meditating on the super soul, because he is decided to deliberately focus his attention on the meditation of the super soul. Now the super soul is also referred in Bhagavad Gita as Suhridam. So what is the word of Suhrid? Anybody? Suhrid. He is the well-wisher. Suhrid means he's our friend. He is our most closest person situated in our heart. Because the Lord is Suhrid, he's our well-wishing personality of Godhead. He's always waiting for us to turn to him. So the moment one is trying to meditate on the super soul then arranges all the other facilities, all the other energies in such an amazing ways that we are able to then more and more think of the Lord. The more stronger our desire becomes, the more stronger the super soul wants to reciprocate with our desire. There is another verse in Bhagavad Gita, ye yatha mam prapadayante tam tatheva bhajami aham mama vartamanu vartante. What is the last line? The Anyway, the verse, the translation of the verse is that as one surrenders unto the Lord rewards the person accordingly, actually. So this is how we invoke the mercy of the Lord. So coming to this text now for today is that the introduction of the Ashtanga Yoga, because the Lord spoke about the super soul very nicely. Now he's talking about how to also achieve the Lord through the process of Ashtanga Yoga. So people generally identify spirituality with an action, but the fact is that they think sitting somewhere in the forest is... Sorry, I think I just need to mute everybody. So what happens is people generally identify that spirituality means no action or inaction, basically. And they think that sitting somewhere in the forest is more spiritual than working in karma yoga. But Lord Krishna makes the point that there is no difference between Karma Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. And later on, we will hear Prabhupada concludes that actually those who are performing devotional service, it's a much easier process, much simpler process than actually the process of performing Ashtanga Yoga. So what happens is Krishna tells how one may achieve the same super soul realization through Ashtanga Yoga. And detail of that Ashtanga Yoga process will be forthcoming in the 6th chapter, that how these various stages will be explained of controlling the breath, the mind, the different asanas. All of this we go through the detail. Krishna gives this process for those yogis who are by nature only inclined to follow this process. However, we then hear the conclusion again in the 6th chapter that the process of the devotional service is far simpler than following the process of the Ashtanga Yoga. I was hearing a lecture of my spiritual master where somebody asked him a question about this whole thing about being easy. But Guru Maharaj clarifies such an important point that he said, Prabhupada says the process is so simple that we can miss it. But it is not an easy process, even the process of devotional service. You must have heard that Krishna consciousness is very simple to be missed, actually. It's not easy. The difference between the word simple means that it is simple for those who are simple or very honest in their endeavors to follow. But it is very difficult for those who are crooked by nature, that who do not like to follow the process or the guidelines of the scriptures, actually. But when someone applies to the process, of following Krishna consciousness very sincerely, this process is actually very simple, but it's not easy. Easy means, what would, okay, an example of easy, I think I remember Guru Maharaj was saying that, okay, I'm hungry, somebody has just plated the food and bought the prasadam right in front of me. That's been made easy. But having said that, making Krishna prasadam is not so easy. There's a lot of science which goes, but it is a simple prasadam with basic spices and everything. But a lot of hard work has gone in preparing that. So that's a very good way of understanding that the process of Krishna consciousness is simple, but it's not so easy. The reason it's not so easy is that one has to be very, very careful. Easy means anybody can do it. But we hear from the Bhagavad Gita itself that it is a process which is only done by Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Only a person who's actually very rare person who takes to this process is able to then, among so many of those, is only one is able to achieve the perfection who very rigidly applies himself or herself to this process of Krishna consciousness. So that's why Krishna is telling that he will give us the details of the 6th chapter of how even the Ashtanga Yoga process can be followed. And then when one is thus purified in the vision and activities by Nishkama Karma Yoga, only then one can begin and make advancement in Ashtanga Yoga. So first of all, one has to apply to the process of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Who will give me the definition of Nishkama Karma Yoga? You'll have to unmute yourself. What does the word Nishkam means?
Without desire.
Yeah, without desire for any results of the activity, actually. That's what means Nishkama Karma Yoga. So even to perform the Ashtanga Yoga, one has to come to the point to understand that, okay, I do not want to have any material desire or any results from this activity I'm doing, except the pleasure of the super soul. That is a spiritual desire. So in that case, one can then begin the process of Ashtanga Yoga. But before that, it is not so easy. That's why the understanding of Nishkama Karma Yoga is essential in this path, before one picks up the process of devotional service. So finally, there are a few more points we'll cover. That Krishna consciousness as a transcendental position of liberation in the Supreme, which includes the following realization. So these are the points Prabhupada mentions. One can immediately understand one's spiritual position. One can understand the Supreme Lord by devotional service. And one is qualified to feel the presence of the Lord everywhere. So there is that beautiful verse, right? Which came, I think it's the 14th verse. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hashtini Suni Chevas Pakecha Pandita Samadarshina, that one then becomes qualified to see the presence of the Lord everywhere, even to the point of an outcast, a brahmana, a dog eater. He's seeing that there is a super soul present everywhere. He has become Samadarshi. Samadarshi means, Sama means having the same understanding or the same vision. Sama. Darshi means the vision. So this person is able to see everyone with an equal vision because he's seeing that there is a super soul situated in everyone's heart. And finally, the Ashtanga Yoga helps how by the eightfold means in the following ways, how one becomes free from fear, even by following the Ashtanga Yoga in a very rigid manner, which is very difficult in the Kali Yuga. But somehow or other, there are people, yogis, who are performing this. We experience this in the beautiful book called The Journey Home of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, where he speaks about certain yogis who are there in the peaks of Himalayas or in different regions of East, where they're practicing such very difficult processes. So there are people who can still follow, but it's not so easy. So they follow the Ashtanga Yoga process, and by following this, one becomes free from all fear, desire, and anger. So can somebody give me an example from Srimad Bhagavatam of a personality who actually followed this Ashtanga Yoga process up till that person was able to meet the Lord? And he became fearless and to the point desireless when he saw the Lord.
Hare Krishna, Divanam Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
It's Dhruva Maharaj.
That's right. So Dhruva Maharaj actually followed this process alongside chanting the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So if you remember the various postures, the controlling of the air, the controlling of the vision. And one thing which I really kind of was remembering from the purport, we were having a japa circle yesterday, just few of us, 2-3 families sat together with the children, and we were chanting a round of Mahamantra. And this Prabhu said to us, that, and it's such a nice point Prabhupada makes. If you remember, if you open the eyes wide open, then your eyes are going everywhere and it may get attracted to any of the sense objects. But if you keep them kind of half open and just to the point of seeing the tip of the nose, it's actually a good practice to even chant the Mahamantra like that. Looking at and then making this mudra, I don't know what it is called, with one hand and the other hand is in the bead bag, and you're chanting and you're trying to look at the tip of the nose. That is actually quite an helpful exercise to control the mind from not going here and there, among the various other things, sitting erect, as Srila Prabhupada said. So this process can really help, how it helped Dhruv Maharaj. Although the Dhruv Maharaj was also blessed by chanting the mantra alongside following the Ashtanga Yoga process, when the Lord appeared, he was actually completely free from fear, anger, or even have that material desire. He said, I do not want anything, my Lord. But because the Lord wanted to empower Dhruv Maharaj, or rather set an example for the people to follow like us, that even if you're being given the opulence and all the various other paraphernalia while you're living in the material world, one should carry on using them in the service of Krishna and be detached actually. You see, especially for Grahasthas, it is very important that we deal with our family members in a very loving way, in a very affectionate way, and do our duties properly. The other day, I read a quote of Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj: trying to ignore our material duties is not really the best way of progressing in spiritual, in Krishna consciousness. You have to perform them, but the idea is that one has to internalize oneself in Krishna consciousness, that one is following the process, but externally one is following and showing a lot of affection and detachment, but internally one is harboring the desire that I am Krishna's, I need to serve the Lord. All of these people around me are the part and parcel of the Lord, and one has to constantly cultivate this inner mood and the inner way, like how the example of the story was given by Srila Rupa Goswami when he wrote to was it to Sanatan Goswami when he wrote in a letter? Or no, it was to the brother of the Sanatan Goswami. I'm trying to remember. Who did he write a letter where he gives this story that how a wife, or was it Chaitanya Mahaprabhu writing to, yes, Mahaprabhu, I believe, writing to Rupa Goswami. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm forgetting who writes to who. But the point is that a wife, how she's serving her husband. An example was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that how a wife who may have an affair outside the marriage, but she is very nicely externally serving everybody as if nobody's aware of anything, cooking, helping, serving the husband, looking after the children. But at the same time, she's all the time internally thinking of her paramour or the person she's attached to. So one has to follow the process of Krishna consciousness in a similar way. I believe it was Mahaprabhu writing to Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Am I right? Can somebody confirm that?
I thought it was to Raghunath Das Goswami because he wanted him to go back and perform his duties. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, no problem. I think you could be right, Mataji, as I wasn't very 100% sure, but maybe we can look up maybe Hima Mataji, you can look up, it might be if you get some time and share it with us on the group. So coming back to the point, yeah, that's how one has to try to practice Krishna consciousness. And the last 2 points are that what are the 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga? Yama, Niyama, Ashna, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. I mean, they're nice to know that these 8 processes are there, but ultimately what is there? Krishna consciousness as the easiest form of yoga. Krishna conscious person being always engaged in devotion service does not risk losing his senses to some other engagement. Thus, it is better way of controlling the senses than Ashtanga Yoga. Why? Because our senses, our tongue is engaged in chanting the Mahamantra and eating Krishna Prasadam. Our eyes are as far as possible engaged in seeing the beautiful form of the Lord or even seeing the devotees actually. Similarly, many of our senses are engaged, you see, that's why, and if they're engaged properly, then there is very less chances of us following from that platform. So that brings us to the conclusion of our today's session of text 27 and 28. I will give 10 minutes. I do need to leave a little bit earlier today because of some commitment I have. So let's take 10 minutes to see if anybody has any comments or question. I have somebody called iPhone and their hands is up. We also have Namrata Mataji who's singing the Raj Jana Mana Bhajan, and lastly Shrimati Mataji reading the translation. So what I will do is, Jyoti Mataji, if you can look up this bhajan, I'm going to make you the host now, and I may have to leave in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, at 8:35, if you can bring up the
Bhajan.
bhajan and
Okay.
share with everybody, that'll be wonderful. So I'm making you host now.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So any comments and questions or any reflections from today's session? Firstly, I hope everybody is doing well, and I'm sorry for not being available because I had taken a little pledge during the marathon that every evening I wanted to go out at least for an hour as a minimum during the weekdays and more over the weekend. So because of that, I was not able to come on chat as well. So I do beg forgiveness, but it's nice to be in all of your association, and thank you for your wonderful contribution in this marathon. So tomorrow we should be hopefully closing the scores by midday. So if you have not sent any scores or haven't reported, please do so. And then day after tomorrow, we will be offering the results to Srila Prabhupada. And depending on how things go, there will be a national Sankirtan festival on the 8th, which will be online. But the Bhaktivedanta Manor Congregation Festival, we will be doing once things improve. We like to do it in person. Once the cases have gone down, everybody has had their boosters, and it's a little bit safe to do so. Hoping end of Jan, beginning February, depending on whenever and wherever we can have it, we'll try to hold a festival. So I want to really express my gratitude to all of you for playing your amazing part in this wonderful marathon by, either physically going out door to door, street to street, or calling up people, using the technology like the WhatsApp in a pure sense of Yukta Vairagya, and trying to encourage your Sangha members to either sponsor the books, take the books, or even, arranging books to be sent to them. So very grateful. I'm Srila Prabhupada will be very, very pleased with this endeavor of all of you. We are hoping to be able to go out once a week now, door to door at least. We will be soon starting that because many devotees said, let's make this an affair, year-long affair, at least once a week. And then we have our monthly Sankirtan festival anyway. So any comments or questions? We have Radha Madhavi.
Even with the blue tie.
Or maybe they're just unmuted. Radha Madhavi. Yeah, thank you so much for muting yourself. Any comments or questions? We have 5 minutes before I go.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Venkat.
Dhanavad Pranam. I know it, I think you mentioned that Krishna conscious process is like simple but not easy. So any suggestions you could give us so that we can follow that simple process easily?
Sure, Prabhu. So Prabhu, the simple process is, my understanding is that the more we keep ourselves in front of the spiritual or transcendental vibration, the simpler it will become for us. The more we do not do that, then what happens, Prabhu, that actually, sound vibration has a great role to play in our life. Anything which we hear has an impact on our mind, then it has an impact on our heart. So whatever we put in, like ears are a little bit like an ocean, so they're very deep inside. And that deepness is compared, the heart is compared to that deepness. It can take so much of information, and the mind can take so much and process so much of information. So the kind of vibration we put in our ears, both in terms of what we read, what we see, it all to do with some visual noise or some audio noise, whatever we see and hear is paramount to our progress in our life actually. So the more we are trying to put ourselves in front of Srila Prabhupada's books, hearing the lectures of Vaishnavas, and especially from Srila Prabhupada, the more the process will become simpler. The reason it will become simpler is because when you hear, Srimad Bhagavatam says that, what is that verse? By hearing our hridaya, the knot in our heart will become pierced. and all those anarthas will start to gradually, go away. That's why it is mentioned, that verse, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So that, all the anarthas, Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, everything which is unwanted will start to go away through the regular attendance in the classes of Srimad Bhagavatam. So by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita as much as possible and associating with the devotees. So that's one thing. The second thing which I've always find helpful is that Prabhu trying to really control the tongue. It all starts from the tongue. The more we can keep our diet simple, the more we can eat Krishna Prasadam, even if we have to eat something opulent, try to offer it to the Lord. Because if we do not do that, then that affects our consciousness in a very subtle way. It's a very subtle science actually, especially through like rice and wheat. The sin has a propensity to travel very fast through these two things actually. So especially if we are in emergency, as much as possible we should try to avoid food which is cooked in not such a good consciousness, especially the grains, Prabhu, one should avoid. So Krishna Prasad is fundamental to our progress in Krishna consciousness. It's very subtle, but those who offer the food and eat it, they will know it for themselves that this is an amazing way to progress in Krishna consciousness. So these are some of the simple steps, Prabhu, which I can think of. So spiritual vibration, Krishna Prasadam, hearing and association of the devotees, and if we try to at least do some of these every day, then we can try to keep this process simple and follow it, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Any last comments?
Hare Krishna, Divyanam Prabhu. Just
Parika
to
Mataji,
mention
Hare
about
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The self-realized person, last time also has been mentioned, the self-realized person, he sees every the living entity, the Atma, in everything, the dog eater, the elephant or anything like that. Also, I understand from the 11th canto that self-realized person does not get agitated or praised if somebody agitates, or so that's one way we can feel ourselves, that when somebody tells you some, say things like that, you are not agitated. So that way we kind of feel that, we are maybe progressing when you're not
Yes.
agitated. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
a very important point.
yeah, and also Srila Prabhupada says that, if we offer anybody, even the dog or anything, Krishna Prasad, that way we are seeing everybody is equal. We can offer to, doesn't matter who it is, we can offer prasad. So that way our vision, we see things equally, not to sort of say, why shall I give prasad to these? So if we distribute prasad to everybody, that's also a sign of a person who is advancing in Krishna consciousness. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Because I thought it's very appropriate to this verse. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Those were very, very profound points and very relevant. Absolutely. Both, yeah, it's a good check to see how quickly we get agitated. Radhanath Maharaj often says that the best of us comes in the provoking situation. Our ability to stay calm and Krishna conscious in such situation is one way to check our progress. So very nice point. And second point, yes, eating Krishna Prasadam and distributing Krishna Prasadam, the mercy of the Lord is a sign of a highest advancement. That's why we hear that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, those who actually go out and share Krishna consciousness with others, they are actually rising to the level of Madhyam Adhikari. Otherwise, the people who are on the Kanishta level or the lower level, it is explained unfortunately they are somebody who have this complaining tendency. So it is definitely a very nice way to think of how to expand Krishna consciousness, both in terms of the books and Srila Prabhupada's, Prasadam, Krishna Prasad, both are important. Thank you so much, Palika Mataji. Thank you, everybody. I'll hand over to Jyoti Mataji, who will now share the screen, and we will have the bhajan. I do apologize, I have to leave, but I'll be back in your association hopefully soon next week. Until then, please carry on and keep the transcendental vibration going. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
माता जी।
Hare Krishna, Rasalila Mataji.
Hare
Ready
Krishna.
to recite the English translation, please.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Okay. Translation. Krishna gives happiness in the hearts of all the Brajvasis. Radhe, Sham, Sham, Sham. He wears a peacock feather mukut, swinging makra-shaped earrings, and a Vijayanti garland around his neck, and the sound of his ankle bell is full of brass. Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Number 2, his his lotus face is very beautiful, and his eyes are like lotus petals. Wandering here and there, he charms everyone with his flute and threefold curved form, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Number 3, in Vrindavan, he tends the cows in the pastures, steals the gopis' minds, and holds up Shri Govardhan Hill, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Number 4, Shri Radha Krishna have united, and now the two have come as the beautiful golden avatar, preaching Kirtan Dharma, Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Number 5, I have no one but you in this world. You descend as an avatar of the beautiful name and beautiful form. Your lotus feet fill me with wonder. So this Narayana is filled with delight. Radhe Sham Sham Sham. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very nicely recited, Rasalila Srimati Mataji, Hari Bol. And now may I ask Namrita Mataji to sing the beautiful bhajan, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. My humble obeisances to everyone. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And a massive thank you, Santosh Mataji, for giving me the opportunity and also teaching me. So thank you, Mataji. Okay. Shri Radhe Vrajjana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Shri Radhe Vrajjana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam Mora Mukutta Makara Krita Kundala Galavajandi Mala Charanananupura Rasala Radhe Shyama Shyam Oh Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Shri Radhe Vrajjana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam Sundara Vadana Kamala Dalalochana Paki Chitavana Hari Mohana Vamasi Vihari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam Oh Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Shri Radhe Vrajjana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam वृंदावन में धेनु चरावे गोपी जन मनहारी श्री गोवर्धन धारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम ओ राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम राधे श्याम Shri Radhe Vrajjana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam Radha Krishna Mile Abdo Gaura Rupa Avatari Kirtana Dharma Prachari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam Oh Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. Shri Radhe Vraj Jana Mana Sukhakari Radhe Shyam Shyama Shyam. तुम बिन मेरे और न कोई, नाम रूपे अवतारी, चरणन में बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम. नारायण बलिहारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम. श्री राधे व्रज जन मन सुखकारी राधे श्याम श्यामा श्याम. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. जय श्री राधे, जय श्री राधे. हरि बोल.
Hari Bol, very beautifully
Bol.
sung, Namrita Mataji. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. And you sang it so, very from your heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Santosh Mataji.
Thank you. So I guess we can end the class now. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.